All right, here we are with assignment 3, thematic lesson planning. Super fun, super fun. Okay, so the rationale for this is lesson planning is a reality for you as a teacher. You will be lesson planning your entire career, your entire career. So we want you to have lots of chances to do that lesson planning. So the more practice planning, the better we will become at unifying our outcomes, learning opportunities, accommodations, transitions, and closures. When we create and implement, when we both create and implement, this allows us the opportunity to reflect upon all aspects, including the strengths and weaknesses of our planning. The reflection portion is often overlooked in the busyness of the teaching day, but is crucial in our growth as educators. So what I'm wanting from this particular assignment is for you to practice creating, implementing, and reflecting on lesson planning so that when you get out into your practicum, you've actually planned some language arts lessons and you have had a chance to actually implement them and see how they went. And then, of course, that all important reflection portion of it. So this is what you're going to do. You will create and implement 3 lesson plans. So on the lesson plan template, so throughout the semester, focusing on the following themes. So I want you to, this is a thematic lesson plan. I want you to think about basing this on a book and around a theme instead of maybe a concept or an outcome. I want you to think about the theme. So the first theme is power control. So positive and negative aspects. What you're going to do is you're going to teach this first lesson on September 16th in our in-person time. Then you're going to talk about humanity or inhumanity, differences, tolerance, exclusion, and that's going to happen on September 23rd. And then loss, death, loss of mobility, loss of home, loss of pet, September 3rd, 2020. Now, you may say, wow, these are pretty heavy-duty themes for grade 1s or 5s or 4s. But I think it's important that we don't shy away from these themes with kids because are they dealing with death? Are they dealing with exclusion? Are they dealing with control issues, possibly? Absolutely. And so I think when we address it in a really positive and safe environment, it's super for our kids to see how we deal with these things. Okay, so suitable books. So I want you to ground this lesson in literature, in children's literature. So suitable books for grade 1 to 6 students on these topics will be available through me from the MHC library. So I physically have 32 books that the amazing librarians at MHC have pulled for me around these particular topics. So I'm just going to pull that up so you can see. So here we are. So on that link that was just on this link, on this LibGuide link, this is what it will look like. And then you just go to here and you click on Power Control. And then what they have done is they've put all of the books that are available that I have and you can just kind of look through and find one that you think you would like to work with for this particular lesson. You are most welcome to use your own resources if you have them, but if you don't have them, there are enough here for everybody to use them. The unfortunate part of COVID is that you can't share books. So if you see one and somebody else is using it, you just can't use it for this particular assignment. But of course, keep it on the docket for potentially using at a different time. What you're going to do is when you look through here and you decide that you want Bully, you want that book, you're going to go to the Google Docs sign up that is also on the list, and you're just going to put your name, title of the book, and the time and date that you signed up. It's just first come, first serve. I didn't know how else to do it. I think that's the way to do it. Then when you come into class, I will have the books and I will just hand them out to you so that you can actually So I'll have those books for September 9th to actually give you in person. And then on the 16th, you will use those. And then we'll switch to the next set of books. If you see that your book has already been used, please do not delete your colleague's request. Just pick another book. There's lots of amazing, amazing books there. Okay, so there's your LibGuide with all the books, and there's the Google Doc to sign up on. So again, they cannot be shared. Please feel free to use your own book. Okay, so lesson planning and implementation. Excuse me. Using one book on the theme, create a lesson plan that can be completed by your colleague who you are teaching. So you're going to be paired up. So one person A, will teach their lesson to person B. Please be able to complete the lesson in 15 minutes. So don't have like 17,000 activities. Have maybe read the book. Remember that the reading of the book usually will take 4 to 5 minutes. So you might want to just read a portion of the book or read a few pages of the book. So just you have that 15-minute time limit, and try to be done your lesson in that time so that you get a sense of the whole lesson. So right from the hook right through to the closure. Okay, use the MHC Education lesson plan template and include all parts of the lesson plan. Now you're starting to have to think about differentiation. And even though you only have one person, start to practice that. Okay, so think about your practicum class. So if you were to do this lesson with your practicum class, how would you differentiate? So you have to imagine a little bit. You have to kind of bring your two worlds of university classes and practicum together in this one. So your lesson should be focused on your practicum grade, but teach at the pace of your colleague. So if you're doing things like sounding stuff out, know that your colleague can probably sound things out. Okay, so think about that. You'll teach one other person your lesson and then you switch. And so then you're going to teach your lessons on the 16th and the 23rd. On September 30th, this is super fun. You'll create a third lesson with the above requirements, but a colleague will now teach your lesson to another person, and they won't teach it to you. So this is like creating a sub-plan for somebody else to teach. So you can't skip over things, you can't make assumptions, you have to write everything out. So just be ready to do that, and then there'll be a bit of a debrief time. So the person who taught your lesson, they'll say, yeah, this was super organized, but I couldn't figure out what you really wanted me to do here, so I made up some things. So you'll have a bit of a time to debrief that. Please bring all needed supplies and book for each lesson. So again, I'll give you that book, but sign up. Bring everything that you need. Keep COVID in mind. So if you're doing, you're wanting to try to do lots of hand, like scissors and paper and things, just keep COVID in mind. Create lesson plans that incorporate pedagogical concepts from education classes. So when we're talking about modeled reading and writing and guided reading and writing, maybe you start to think, okay, this is what I'm going to try to incorporate this. And create lesson plans with your practicum students in mind. Again, pick a book that you think your practicum students might like, and then you can actually use this lesson potentially when you get out there into the class. Okay, so basically, implementation of lesson plan in class is 5% per plan. As long as you're ready to go, you get your 15%. Final lesson plan creation, what I will do is I'll actually look at all those sections of your lesson plan, your hook, your differentiation, your closure, your linking objectives, and that will be part of that 25%. And I'm going to just take the final one, because the first two I'm hoping you'll go, oh yeah, I have to include this, or oh, I forgot about that. And hopefully then after 2 goes, your third one will be amazing. Then you're going to do a little bit of a reflection on each of the lessons. So reflect on each lesson using the following criteria. You don't have to answer all of these, but just use this as a guide. What would I keep the same? What would I change? Did the lesson meet my outcomes for learning? And if they did or did not, how did you know that they did or didn't? And what have I learned about myself as a teacher through creating and teaching this lesson? You might say, I am super organized. I'm good. I'm good with the organization, but at the actual implementation, I got really nervous. And any of those kind of really sort of those realities of being a teacher. So add is 250 words a reflection. So 750, actually I'll do this, 750 words in total. Not a ton of writing, but just get your thoughts down. And then October 15th, please submit the 3 reflections and lesson plan through Blackboard on the due date. And so that's all one document. I don't have piecemeal coming in there. Okay, that's it for assignment 3. Have fun with this one.